Welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me. A little bit past 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast, Friday night, and I am here. I would have come on earlier, but I didn't know what my evening was going to be like. I thought maybe I could make it, maybe I couldn't. I wasn't sure. I found out later on I can make it. So I am here with you. Yes, sometimes I have to do work late into the evenings. Today I didn't have to, so that was good, and I was a little bit scared. So I'm here. And the best part about it is today's show does some things that I enjoy tremendously. One of those things that I enjoy tremendously is when I get to say, I told you so. Boy, do I love that. And there's a bunch of that today. There is some of that today, but there's also, I get to show you what's happening and comment on it, which I like too. And you're here. So win, win, win is what I would say. We're winning everywhere. The first thing I want to bring up is look at the full court press that Trump is doing right now. And I know a lot of people aren't happy with it. And I understand why. I really do. I'm not joking or, I get why people are upset. This is jarring for a lot of people. It's jarring. It's not the norm. It is not what people usually do or expect. That's true. But here's the issue. I bring this up constantly. When you give people no alternative, they take whatever alternative is there. If you're drowning and someone puts a hand out and says, hey, let me pull you out of the lake or wherever you're drowning from, you don't care whether that's a Democrat, a Republican. You don't care if they're wearing an armband or not. You don't care what color their skin is. You don't care what the gender. You don't care. All you care is someone is saying, I got you. And you say, I got nobody else. I'll take it. This is what's happened here. And people don't like it, but oh my God, it's what's happening. And I'll say it again, desperate people do desperate things. This is whether it comes to the black market or not. And that's a key piece that I want to bring up. A key piece I want to bring up because things that are happening are what I hear constantly is illegal. I hear that constantly, yet people still do them. Wait a minute. That's called the black market. Literally, that's the black market. When I can't get what I want from the system, and I try, and the system says, no, you can't use the system. Okay, then I'm getting what I need, and I won't use the system. It's called the black market. Literally, Trump is creating a government black market. That's what's happening. And this is what Elon Musk is. He's a black market government. I'm a libertarian. How mad can I be? That's what I will say. How mad can I be? That's all I'm saying, right? How mad can I be? Closing the DOE, people saying you can't do that. That's impossible. But here's the best part about that. People are now seeing DOE only has been around since 1980. What? We didn't know that? Yeah, that's it. He's trashing USAID. People didn't realize how bad that organization was. Now they're figuring that out too. And I say, so wait a minute. No. They can't do that because this is in a blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. He's just doing it. Well, a judge said, I don't care. Doing it. Ending the freezing sanctuary city funds, which I wasn't. I'm, by the way, I'm for sanctuary cities. I think you should, but not just for migrants, Second Amendment, whatever. If you think the government is not, if the federal government is somehow doing something wrong and you think you do right, localism, sanctuary counties, sanctuary cities, sanctuary them all. But you don't get government funds, which I'm good with that too. So again, how can I be upset about that, right? In New York State, Western New York State, we have sanctuary counties for the Second Amendment. Yeah, I'm okay with that, right? We only think of it for migrants, but there are other reasons to have it. Conceptually, I'm not against it, but you can't take it, then take federal funds. I'm okay with that too. Talking about taking over Gaza, and let me go through a couple of these because I think this one here is I think one of the most important ones to look at. This is like making it everywhere on Twitter, right? But let me show you this one. This is the Democrats who all of a sudden now care. Boy, do they care now. They super care. Boy, I feel the love of Democrats. They care super right now. And they all went to the Department of Education to inspect because they're going to take care of things because they're in Congress and they've got power and stuff. And boy, You better respect their authority. You better do that. Except this dude didn't do that.
Excuse me?
Are you prepared to stand here all night if we decide to stay?
I guess, yeah.
All right, well, you just stay right there then.
She thought she was going to bully him because she's a member of Congress. These are all Congress people. They all came. This is one dude with a bandit on his neck.
You just stay and stand.
Why are you letting us go to that desk? Like,
I'm a congressman. Why aren't you letting us go to that desk? He's a congressman. Do you understand how weak? Do you understand how weak these people are?
we were able to do last year.
No, he's not a U.S. employee. I don't know.
Is he an employee? What is he doing?
Public institution.
Did Elon Musk hire you?
Who do you work for?
Who do you work for?
Are you not aware of?
Are you even? Who do you work for?
I'm a federal employee working for the education.
We trying
to.
Now, why do I show you that? So many reasons, but let me walk down many of them. Reason number one, these Congress people and most of the people who are now in charge of everything or think they're in charge, and there's the key point, they rely on institutions to control us. I've been saying this forever. This is why I want less government institutions and more localized community institutions, right? That's why I want that. I think localizing community is better. That's what I think is better, right? No, they rely on these. Well, now what's happened? We don't respect them anymore. And I've been warning you of this for years. Once the institutions collapse, we don't respect them anymore. What happens next? Well, now one dude with a bandit on his neck stops Congress. I wish I was joking. You just watched it. The congressman didn't think to bring any muscle. Why? They never have to. They can just go, I'm Congress, and people move. People go, we don't care, we hate you. We don't care, your system is broken. We don't care, you've learned nothing, you've changed nothing. You've done nothing whatsoever for us, so we no longer care. I didn't see cops running to save him. I didn't see security running to save him. I saw nobody giving a damn what these Congress people thought. They were so, again, the hubris. I can just walk in because I'm in Congress. Those days are done. Democrats have not figured out. We don't care. It doesn't work anymore. Your shaming doesn't work. I said it in November. This was an election that said we're tired of shaming. And I told you it was about masculinity. I know some of you didn't like that, but it is. Who is going to do the work to change the government? It is going to be young men like him. Maybe not so young, but younger than me. So that makes him young. He's younger than me. So yes, that's who it's going to be. Who are the people who are going and tearing up Doge? It's young men. That's who it is. I told you it would be. And people said, well, Larry, you got to worry about, why are you worried about the young men? Why are you worried about the men being in trouble? Because they will walk into these things. Now, hopefully these are good. I hope they are. But what if Democrats are right? What if this is bad? I hope they're wrong. But what if they are? This is the entire worry. Young men are going to decide what is right. The paper and the documents and the legality and the judges and all that stuff that we're going to sue. You can sue all goddamn day. That guy's not moving. And if the cops don't show up to move him, you can have every judge in the world say he's wrong. A judge going to go down and move him? No. They're going to make an edict and hit their little gavel. That's it. And if the cops don't go move him, they're not getting in. That's the issue. The question is, will the cops move him or not? And when the cops go, I'm not touching that. Let me ask the opposite side. And I want you to think about this for a second. Think about that same scenario. Let's say it's the reverse. Let's say the Democrats got there first. They got there first and said, we're going to stand here, whatever. And Trump showed up. Or Republican senators show up. What would have happened? They would have come with muscle because they know. I'm not joking. They would have come with muscle because they know. They would have come with muscle and they would have physically removed those people. That's what they would have done, or they wouldn't have showed up. They would have never shown up weak. They would have either not shown up or shown up with muscle. Democrats don't know better. They still think that somehow justice is magically happening because we passed the law or something. Do we not realize that America was built by outlaws? We always seem to forget that. We always seem to forget that, don't we? I don't. I say it all the time. Yes, I say it all the time. So that was one, but I have to go to one more piece if I could that I enjoyed. This one also I enjoyed. This is a similar thing, but a lot shorter. But I enjoyed this piece also, and I think you'll understand why. Yeah, this is like day 2 of saying USAID is destroyed, and literally after the judges are going, "You can't do that," and everyone's saying, "You can't do that," and they're like, "We're just gonna go do it." Again, who's going to stop them? Some judge bangs their gavel. Okay. Who's going to stop them? And again, who's doing this? It's men again, isn't it? Yes, it is yet again, deciding that now we're closing things up, throwing people out, and moving on. Again and again and again. This keeps happening. Now you might go, Larry, this sounds nuts. This sounds nuts. This is what I've been telling you. When people decide they don't care about institutions, they collapse. That's how it works. Wasn't this that woman, Crockett, yesterday who said she doesn't care about mediocre white boys? You might want to start caring, my dear. You might want to start caring. Now will be the time to take that back, because there's a whole lot of mediocre white boys going to do a whole lot of work just like this and might put you out of a job real fast. So now would be a time to start caring about those mediocre white boys. If I was you, look, you do you. That's my opinion. Maybe she'll listen. She probably won't. But yes, so that's all covered up now. That's all gone. So I'm still not done. Did I have some more? I do. Because some people who hate Democrats too, they don't know where to go. They're like, now what are we going to go do? I mean, we can't be Democrats because they're embarrassing us in every way. Chuck Schumer is an embarrassment. These people who just, so they're all an embarrassment. They have no power, no value, no nothing. They've completely just destroyed everything and then make it look bad. Now what do we do? Well, I'm going to tell you something else that popped up. This is from Pam Bondi. And someone talking about that, believe it or not, is Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks. She had something to say. And some of you are going to be surprised by this one because she had some stuff to say. Here is what she had to say about this.
And on her first day in office, she decided to ban sanctuary cities from receiving federal aid.
Now, I used to tease Republicans back in 2022. And I told them that they were all full of crap because they would always say things like, on day one, I'm doing this. On day one, I'm done. Like, it's going to be a busy day one. It was just talk. Trump made that real. Prior to Trump, day one was just trash talking. The Republicans were always, it was Republican talking points. We used to be. It was Republican propaganda, right? They would always go, yeah, day one, I'm changing everything. And they would never do it if they ever got in power. Most of them wouldn't win anyway in New York State, but they would always say that, right? Well, Trump said it. And I thought, whatever. Okay, Trump, yes. Oh, you did it. And your people are following you. They're like, oh, this day one thing's real? All right, it's real. Day one, she starts doing stuff. How in the world are the Democrats going to be able to respond to this? They can't. But more importantly, how are the institutions going to respond to this? They can't. Why? Because our institutions are so broken. There's no change possible. They don't know how to change. We have stifled change. So the only way to change is to break it. The only way to change is to go, I don't care, I'm doing it. Some of you heard me say something last year when I was talking about running for governor. They said, Larry, how would you get things done? I said, I will be a transparent tyrant. Why? It's the only way to get things done. Remember I said that? Some of you were worried about me saying that. I said I'd be a transparent tyrant. This is an example of what I was talking about. You can't get it done without just doing it and not caring what courts think and not caring what Congress thinks, because their job is to stop things from changing. So you just must change and take whatever happens and just do. And just do. That is the crazy piece. That is the crazy piece. It does seem insane, I know, but you see it's working right now. And they can't respond. This never happened for them. They don't know how to respond to it. They have no idea how to respond to it. So yes. So, whoa, Peter's mad. He's yelling. Hold on, I'm gonna grab Peter because he's yelling. Peter says, who appointed Donald Duck as emperor of the global community? The main action that the POTUS, Donald J. Duck, needs to do is approve statehood for Palestine. I'm not sure if you're joking about that or not, Peter. I don't know. But I think that's funny that he's yelling. That is funny. I'll tell you what happened. He won a mandate. And let me be very clear. All the things you're seeing, if you're on the left or if you're Democratic and you're angry, let me be very clear. All that I've mentioned, sanctuary city peace, taking over Gaza, the cabinet positions that are all controversial, talking about taking over Canada, closing Department of Education, all these things that we're talking about now, Democrats could have ended all of it. One thing they had to do, only one thing Democrats had to do, one thing only, run a primary in 2024. That's it. I'm not making that up. Democrats run a primary in 2024, none of this can happen because he doesn't have the entire country behind him. He has no mandate. Can't be done. None of this can be done. So if you happen to be a Democrat and you're mad at this, blame your party. All your party had to do, before I even go, let me be very clear. All the Democrats had to do, I'm not exaggerating in any way, shape, or form, is just be a Democratic Party. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing special. No special rules. If they just would have run a primary, even if Donald Trump, even if Joe Biden didn't show up for the debate or whatever, run a primary. You run a primary. Harris would have lost the primary or become a great candidate. Either one, probably lost the primary, but one or the other. RFK Jr. would still be a Democrat, so Trump doesn't get the mandate because without RFK Jr.'s people, he doesn't beat Harris in the popular vote. He doesn't beat her in the popular vote at all. Without RFK Jr., he's still a Democrat and probably joins the team of whoever would have won, if not him, if he wouldn't have won himself. Who knows? Maybe you don't even get Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan was an RFK fan. Maybe Joe Rogan been kissing RFK's butt. Who knows? Maybe you don't even get Joe Rogan. And then whoever, if Trump goes on Rogan, maybe the Democratic person goes on Joe Rogan. You don't get a mandate. Maybe Trump loses. I don't know. He might have still won. But I'm just saying, who knows? No matter what, he does not get a mandate. He does not get a mandate. The Democratic Party decided to be authoritarian. They said no one gets any choice. You will do as we say. And now the backlash is what always happens. When you give people no choice, they rebel every freaking time and they don't learn. And we're at a point where people are just tired. This is the issue. They're just tired. Now, I know people are going to say, well, are Republicans any better? Well, yes. Why? Yes. Because they have answers. That's the only reason. You may hate those answers. But again, as I just said 10 minutes ago, if you're saying to yourself, shit's not working, I'm not happy, it's not working, who's got the handout? It's Trump. I got you. I'll be your king. He said, I'll be your, I forgot the phrase he used, but I'll be your, whatever, I'll be your savior, whatever he said. He's a different word than that. And we said, okay. Not me, but I mean, we as a nation, okay, I'll take it. That's how it works. It is human nature. It's not magic. And now people are still mad. You can be mad all you want if you're a Democrat. Your party did it. All your party had to do was not be so authoritarian that even Republicans looked good. I mean, that's how bad the Democrats were. They were so authoritarian, even Republicans looked good. Jesus Christ. That's what happened. Run a primary, all of this is gone. Maybe Trump still wins, but he does not have a mandate. He can't do all these things. Trump, and I know people will say, he doesn't have a mandate because blah, blah, blah. Look at what's happening. You're fooling yourself. If you want to pretend Trump does not have a mandate, you may. I totally get it. You can say it if you want to. You are clearly fooling yourself. You see what's happening. There is virtually no pushback. And I would ask you something. If everything they're saying is true, Democrats are saying is true, why haven't they demanded his arrest? Why haven't they demanded Elon Musk's arrest? Why haven't they demanded Trump to be arrested? Why haven't they demanded this? Because they know it's all their fault. They can't do anything. They know. Remember they told us he's going to be Hitler? He's not Hitler. They're not building camps. No armbands. I mean, not yet, maybe, but not yet. They told us that. Now we don't believe them anymore. They lied to us so much that we no longer believe them anymore. They no longer believe them. So anyway, I'm sorry. Andrea says, if he didn't have a mandate, then why are most people cheering? Correct. Look, I hear all the time, people who don't like Trump tell me all the time, he doesn't have a mandate. He only won by this or he only won by that. I don't give a shit. It's clear. Look at you. Could you imagine if someone else was doing this? Could you imagine if someone was doing this? Literally, the cops would be on the streets. No way. Clearly, he has a mandate. Again, it's just obvious he does. It's just obvious he does. And the Democrats have no answer. And the thing that is, I didn't think he'd be this forward. If you remember, I spoke in November and December, people were like, why is Trump so quiet? And I told you why he was quiet. I said, because he's prepping. He's making deals with the Republican establishment so they don't go against him. And what is happening is the Republican establishment is not going against him. He made enough deals to keep them happy, to pacify them so they get their money. So he's keeping this Republican establishment happy. The Democrats didn't make deals with him because they were so busy calling him evil. So they didn't make, and if they were going to win, they made no deals with him. None. That's why they're worried, because their money's going away. They're scared their money's going to go away. So they're scared now. Oh, I got to go do something. I got to pretend like I care. They don't care either. Not the Republicans care. I'm not saying they care either, but they're good. So they're fine. They're moving on. And I'll tell you something else. I told you he would not focus on domestic issues, that he would focus on international, and he'd have other people do domestic. Remember I told you that? And that's happening now. That's happening now. Elon Musk is doing domestic. And meanwhile, Trump's talking to Japanese people, talking to the Canadians, talking to the Greenlanders. He's doing all that stuff. He's going to take over Gaza now. He'll be talking to Ukrainians next year, whatever. He's doing all that stuff now. That's what's happening right now. It is true. Joel says the rhinos have been quiet. Yes, they made a deal. I know you guys sometimes think that I'm crazy and I make things up and whatever. Here's the thing you got to remember about me. While you may not like what I say, or you may think that I'm some crazy libertarian, or you may be unhappy where I give credit where credit is due for people who you don't like. I get that. I get that. But I'm realpolitik. And if you've been following me for the last 2-3 years, I'm right like 90% of the time. I'm off here or there. I am. But I'm like 90% of the time right. And I give predictions in advance. I tell you what's happening when other people aren't even telling you what's happening, because I know how these guys think, what's going on. All the time I tell you this. All the time I tell you this. And you see it, boom, again and again and again. So I guess you can be mad at me if you want to. I'm the messenger here. I'm the messenger here. I wish I was controlling this stuff. It'd be involved my libertarian if I was controlling it. I'm not controlling it. I'm just watching and telling you what's happening. That's it. So, yes. All right. The AC says, thank you for being a member, AC. It doesn't matter whether Trump actually has a mandate or not. He has Congress, the Senate, and the Supreme Court all in his pocket, and all of them running. Correct. And the problem is our systems have been so busy trying to stop any change that when he smashes through with all the stuff he's doing, the system can't even respond. The bureaucrats can't even respond, right? So even if he didn't have that, right? If he had that, but if the system could, somehow fight itself, it can't. You're correct, AC. That's correct. And the Dems have no idea what they're doing. They were not ready for this, not prepared at all. Terrible. Yes, 100%. So, Ryan, thank you for the $5, my friend. I appreciate the super chat for $5. Dems' constant virtue signaling has the American people burnt out. Yes. And they won't stop because it's the only thing they know. They don't have anything else. Nothing else. They have nothing else. They have no other tools. It's the only tool they have. We got all these tools. Your tools, virtually, which didn't work in 2022, 2024, or now, it's not working. and the constant predictable attacks on Trump have Americans rolling their eyes. Yes, they don't even care about Elon Musk anymore. Whatever. When you call everybody a fascist, you don't hear anymore. They called everybody that every time. It doesn't land anymore. I completely agree. It doesn't land anymore. Thank you for that, Ryan. I do appreciate that. So, all right, let me see if I'm heading over to let's see here. I'm heading over to where am I going? There we go. All right, heading over to Rumble. It says here, Joel says the Dems are screaming they didn't vote for Elon while they never got to vote in primary select Kamala. Yes, most of the people who are running in the government aren't voted on. The American people didn't vote for Rubio. Floridians did. American people didn't. And he's Secretary of State. So what? Yeah, so happens. And again, we also knew. We knew what he was going to do. We knew. Yes. So anyway, I want to finish this piece up with Anna Kasparian. It's an interesting piece, an interesting take she has on this. She talks about what's happening right away.
For any federal resources. This has placed Chicago in particular in quite a bit of controversy and hot water. But before we get to Chicago and Illinois in particular, here's what Bondi is up to more generally as it pertains to undocumented immigrants and the various sanctuary cities and states that are attempting to protect them. So Fox News Digital exclusively obtained memos outlining Bondi's first day directives. And here's what we know based on their reporting. So Bondi has directed the DOJ to pause all federal funding for sanctuary cities. Bondi also has directed the DOJ to identify and evaluate all funding agreements with non-governmental organizations, NGOs, typically nonprofits, that provide support to illegal aliens.
Now, you might say, wait a minute, Larry, that sounds cruel. Why would you attack the non-governmental agencies and the NGOs and such? This is literally the migrant industrial complex that I complain about like every other month. I've been complaining about this in New York State for 2 years now? The migrant industrial complex that I've been complaining about, saying that the federal government now is giving money constantly again and again and again so that we never fix the migrant problem because the money keeps coming. Why would we fix the migrant problem when people are making money off of it? Where's that money coming from? Here. That's the point. People always tell me, Larry, I don't get it. Why won't New York State fix the migrant problem? Why would you? The Roosevelt Hotel in New York City used to be a regular hotel where you could have an event or you could go and visit New York City and stay there, right? In Midtown Manhattan. It's great. No, it's all migrants now. Why? There's more money in migrants coming from federal government. I'm always filled up, making all my money. Life is good. Yes. That's how it works. And here is where it goes right here. Yes. Andrea says, how do I get a cut? Andrea, you're far too good of a person to get that kind of dirty money. I'm kidding. Buy a hotel. That's it. Buy a hotel. The money comes to flow in. It is that easy. Just buy a hotel. Yes. So, all righty. Let me keep going here.
That's how Fox News reported it. She's also directing litigating components of the Justice Department to investigate instances of jurisdictions that are impeding law enforcement and directing they be prosecuted when.
So she's now saying if you impede versus walk away, you could be prosecuted.
Necessary. So I'm going to pause. There's more that she's doing. Honestly, there are some things that she's doing as part of her first day directives that I agree with.
Yep,
what I just read to you, though, I disagree with, and here's why. The idea that the citizens, the tax-paying American citizens in these sanctuary cities should be deprived of federal funding is ludicrous to me. Because
they voted, hold on, just to be clear, they voted for the mayors, they voted for the district attorneys, they voted for the governors. What?
If that is the case,
what?
Well, then we should stop paying our federal taxes.
Yes, Anna, yes. Welcome to the Libertarian Party. Look at that. I had no idea Anna Kasparian is Libertarian now. Oh my God. Look at this. Have you noticed over the last, I don't know, 5 to 8 weeks in that area, how many people who used to call themselves left-leaning or Democratic or, whatever they would call themselves, they call themselves towards the left, are all of a sudden becoming libertarians? This is amazing. Of all the things Donald Trump's done, maybe the real gift were the libertarians we made along the way. Maybe that was the real gift after all. All of a sudden, she is libertarian. Look at that. Oh my God. That was the part that I enjoyed so much. Yes, Anna, you and I agree. Maybe the real gift, was the libertarians we created along the way. All of a sudden now, they're all libertarians. Look at that. Before you know it, man, we'll be winning elections. All these libertarians running around. I had no idea that was true. It is crazy. Phil says, don't pay taxes. Done. See that? Don't pay taxes. Easy day. Now, look, I agree. I know a lot of you don't like sanctuary cities. I'm fine with them. Sanctuary everything. But then don't take the federal money. I've been saying it forever. What we're also seeing right now, which this part, again, I love too, but there's so many parts that I really like about this. And that is we are finally getting people to see how the federal government controls us through funds, through money. It takes literally, they told us $3 trillion of our money and gives $3 trillion back, right? It takes 4.9 trillion, I think it's right, 4.8 trillion or 9 trillion total from us and gives 3 trillion back. Don't take the 3 trillion in the first place. Just don't take it. Take the 1.9, don't take that, but just in theory, take the 1.9 and run the military and stuff. Okay, fine, whatever. And the 3 trillion you give back, don't give back, don't take. Because all you do with that 3 trillion is give out gifts to your friends, redistribute it, and then control shit. Let the states have it. Let them have it. Let them have it. We fix our own stuff. And even she's saying it. Even she's saying it. And I will ask you, where is all of the pushback? Even she's not pushing back. Yeah, absolutely. She's not doing it 100%. Brandon says, politicians lying about caring about children and rich CEOs who make $10 million a year and will fire 100 men instead of just getting paid $100,000 a year will ruin the country. I think that's probably true. I think there's some truth to that. I do. But there has to be a social price to pay for that. Right. And there was something similar that started happening in, I think it was Switzerland. They, of course, tried to make it a law, which didn't work. But I think I'm going to be off on this. But if anyone to look at it, you'll find it. There was an issue with socially the Swiss, I guess, believed that a CEO should not make any more than 12 times the average pay of their employees. I don't know where that came from, but that was the number. Excuse me, I still have a little bit of a cough. That was the number. So that's how many Swiss look at it. And they think if you're the boss, you should not make more than 12 times whatever your average person makes. So if you want to make 10 million, okay. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I haven't got rid of this cough yet. So if you want to make whatever, $12 million a year, then your average employee should make 100,000? No, $1 million a year, right? $1 million a year. That's their concept, right? They tried to pass a law. Now, it didn't work. Now, something like that's probably true. I don't know if 12 was the right answer, but maybe we should be having that kind of thing socially. Maybe we should be saying to ourselves, wait a minute, why do you make so much more? I don't want to use your products. I don't want to be around you. I'm going to punish you in the market. I'm not going to buy your stock, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if we do that, we could make it happen socially, right? And particularly if they're public companies, we could have that being transparent. What's the average, salary of your employee? What's the salary of your board or whatever? It could be done, right? It could be done. I don't know why they picked the 12, but that was the number, right? That was the number they used. So anyway, there's one more thing I want to bring up, and this one is kind of the craziest one, but I think it's important to hear. And it's because it's about Gaza, right? It's about Gaza. So here is a piece about Gaza, and it explains, can Trump take over Gaza? Right? Explains, can he?
Can President Trump really take ownership of Gaza and turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East?
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it.
This is the area we're talking about, the Gaza Strip on the Mediterranean. It's around 25 miles long and roughly 6 miles wide. Around 2 million Palestinians live there, most of whom have been displaced internally by the war between Hamas and Israel. A huge amount of damage has been done to infrastructure over the past 15 months too. But could Gaza end up under US ownership as part of a reconstruction plan? The short answer is the experts we've spoken to think such a plan would involve clear violations of international law. First,
now, he didn't say no. That's what I want you to understand. He didn't say no. He said clear violations of international law. But who's going to enforce that? No one. Because the institutions are failing, because we don't believe in them anymore. And when you don't believe in the institutions anymore, they don't matter. And I know that scares people. I get it. I've been saying this forever. I've been saying I want us to trust our institutions, but they're garbage. Our judges are garbage. Our institutions are garbage. They have been screwing us for decades. They aren't working. And the worst part is they won't allow us to change. Well, Larry, what have you done? I've run for office and sued the state 8 times. I've raised over $1 million and sacrificed over 2 years of my life to make change. And what did I get? Nothing. So when I watch this happen, do you think I get upset? No. No. The state gives me no representation in my government. I have no say in my government. I'm not joking when I say that. The system in my state allows me to I have to only hope I happen to get a decent person. I have no ability to make any change in my government. That's not a fucking joke. That's true. So this is what you get. Because he knows that even though it's against all these laws, the answer is still yes. The answer is still yes.
Under Article 2.4 of the UN Charter, the use of force is illegal. Members agree to refrain in their international relations from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state.
The idea that this would benefit the population of Gaza or another population is legally completely meaningless. It is simply prohibited to use military force on the territory of another state, particularly in order to conquer or annex that territory.
It's hard to see a situation in which President Trump could get agreement for his plan from leaders in Gaza. The Strip is run by Hamas, an armed group designated a terrorist organization by a number of countries, including the US and the UK.
Don't think he's going to ask for their permission if he does this. Don't think he's gonna. Don't think he's gonna. That's just my gut. Don't think he's going to ask for permission.
Hamas has made it clear it won't agree to a takeover, calling the plan ridiculous and absurd. The idea of US ownership has also been strongly rejected by the Palestinian Authority, which governs part of the occupied West Bank. Israel can't make the decision to cede territory in Gaza, according to legal experts, who say it has no right to do so as an
Again, they keep saying this all the time. There's no legal right. There's no legal right. But they're not saying no.
Occupying power. We don't have many details about the specifics of Trump's proposal, but this is what he said about moving residents out of Gaza.
I think that if we can resettle, and I believe we can do it in areas where the leaders currently say no.
The Geneva Conventions.
So the leaders say no. He's like, no, we could just do it. Again, Trump just said the leaders say no. Who's going to stop him? That's my point. Who's going to stop him?
A set of international laws prohibit forced permanent displacement. Here's Article 49. It says individual or mass forcible transfers, as well as deportations of protected persons from occupied territory, are prohibited, regardless of their motive.
The paper says
it's a violation of rules which have been created by states, and it is a violation of international agreements
Yep.
And international customary rules of international law, which prohibit the forced displacement of people.
And then the guy I know who stopped that, by the way, was a guy named Vladimir Putin. He was like, oh, man, I guess I can't invade Ukraine because the paper says I can't. And he ignored it and invaded Ukraine anyway. And you all know this. By the end of this year, he's going to control chunks of Ukraine. That's going to happen. I've been telling you that for 2 years already. That is going to, I don't know how it's going to look, but that's going to happen. So what stops Trump? If we don't believe in the institutions, they have no power. And people say, well, I'll sue, or the courts. The courts only mean something if people believe in them. If the courts don't take action, they don't have an army. The cops have to do their jobs and care about the courts and follow the courts. And if the cops do what the governor says or the president says, not what the courts say, then the courts have no power. And that sounds horrible. I know. I'm not like I'm happy about this concept. But what I'm saying is I'm showing you what I've been talking about for years. Our institutions are broken. And you're watching this happen now. This should not happen. This shouldn't happen. This should be an outrage, and we should all be in the street screaming and yelling. We're not. We're not. We're like, okay, you know what? We know everything sucks. When institutions fail, this is what happens. I know I yapped a lot. I apologize. I did a lot of yapping, I know. But I keep saying that. So I'm looking over at Rumble, and Joel says, Anna will say whatever gets the clicks. I don't know about that. She's been on a little bit of a journey. I'll use that word recently. So that may not be true. She's been on a bit of a journey recently. So she may be feeling a certain way about certain things. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, let me grab a couple more of these. By the way, before I get moving here, do me a favor, guys. I know you like it because you're watching. So click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. Please do that. It does matter. I get shadow banned constantly. You know it. You've watched it happen, right? A lot more people should be watching this. They don't like what I'm saying. I get it. I'm not fooling myself. It's true. They don't like what I'm saying, so I get shadow banned. Clicking that button does make things better. If you haven't reposted this, please repost it. It does matter. Re-exit, repost it, share it into a Facebook page or a Facebook group, whatever the case may be. If you're not subscribed yet to me on YouTube, please do so. Follow me on X and Rumble, and also on Facebook. Make sure you select that all notifications whenever you go on Sharpe Way YouTube. And you can also super chat me, as you've seen. Super chats are always helpful. Membership, very important, guys. If you want to become a member, click that join button, $49 per month. The more I'm doing this, the more membership we have, the less I have to work, the more I can do this. So that matters. If you're going to go on Rumble, do that also. Click subscribe during the live only for Rumble, and you can jump on board. $49. It does matter. Every little bit does count. I do want to see if I can grab some of the comments that have been popping up. There were a bunch of them here, and I'm going to grab them if I can. I think I already grabbed both super chats. Yes. Oh, no, I have not. Peace. How are you, my friend? So that was Larry's a wizard. I basically am. It's true. Yeah, it's basically true. Yep, it's true. I'm a wizard. I have magic powers. I do. So I have the ability to look into the future when I see the obviousness out there, what's going to happen. Because it happens all the time. Right? All the time. So, yes. All righty. Let's see here. Matt says, I didn't see this one. Oh, I did. No. Yep. I was looking for all these. I was looking for all of these. Yes. I was looking for all of these. I wanted to make sure we got them. So, Aurora Diaz says, Asmund Gold saying burn it all down to his audience of young men is a perfect example of what you're talking about. Yes. And that may be very scary. I get it if you see that. If you see that and you get scared, I understand. Because as I've been saying, there are at least 8 million American men who've checked out. They don't want to have a steady job. They don't want to have a steady girlfriend or relationship. They don't want to have children. They believe that it's done. I'm going to sit in my room or in my basement or wherever I live, my 1-bedroom apartment, or with my buddies where I live 3 or 4 guys in one apartment, right? And that's what I'm going to do. And that's it. And if they find a purpose, good or bad, they'll jump on board. Let's hope if they find that purpose, it's a good one, because the country's ready for this. And that's my fear. So, yes. Andrea, thank you for being a member. She says, Trump is actually putting a team together and getting stuff done. Already put together, Andrea. This was done already. Already done. That was my whole point. I was talking about it in November. That was already happening. That was already in the process. It was already happening. The final deals were being made, right? Because he had to win for the establishment Republicans to go, okay, how much did he win by? What do we got to do here? How do we work this? What can we give and what can we get? And you can see the established Republicans, whoever dealt with this, I don't think it was him, to be full with you. I don't have detailed knowledge, but people who know have told me that he's been using a lot of other people to make those connections and to make things happen. It hasn't been him. He hasn't done a lot of that. He's been focusing heavily on international stuff, domestic issues within the party. He's having other people like Don Jr. and Eric and people like that to make the JD Vance. They've been doing the actual, okay, what's the deal here? They've been doing that, not him as much. That's what I heard. I don't know that to be true, but I do believe that to be true because the people I've talked to, they do know something. So that is what I think is happening. I think that's what's happening. So, and all happened, that makes any sense. There are still some people in the establishment who really, like, personally don't like him. Like, they don't like him. So they'd rather talk to JD Vance than him. They'd rather talk to Eric than him because they don't like him. So they're like, good, let him go to Japan or whatever. Let him go talk to this guy. I'll talk to you instead. They don't like him, but they know that they'd have to deal with him. So they do. So yes. So Matt says, but Larry is a guy standing in front of the door, not letting the vaunted members of Congress transparency. Well, no, but all right. It is, but it isn't. I mean, hear me out. It is transparent in that they went in to tear the place up. And as they tear it up, they're showing you how they tear it up. So in that regard, it's transparent. What did we know about this before? Nothing. Most people, I mean, even Marco Rubio said, he goes, USAID wouldn't even tell them anything, would not respond, right? DOE would not respond. They would just not respond. One of the things that was brilliant about the freezing of all the funds, which made people so afraid, the senators even said it. Once the funds were all frozen, all the departments started to respond. All of them did. They weren't responding. They're just literally, they would say, okay, DOE, provide me a report of X, Y, and Z. And they go, yeah, we'll get it to you. We're busy right now. A lot of priorities. We'll get it to you in 6 months or whatever they would say. And this, remember, I told you this months ago, that's what was going to happen. And then Trump said, we're freezing all payments, all of them. You get, no one's getting paid. What? No one's getting paid? That report you wanted, I'll have tomorrow morning. How much you want? Yeah. Would you double space? I got you. Double space. Done. That's what's happening. So that's how that began to happen. They have to make it, they have to force their hand because the system will just slow itself down. So I hope that answers the question. This isn't perfect. This isn't perfect, Matt. If I hope I am not putting out a vibe that this is the perfect way of doing things. It isn't. It isn't. Sadly, it's the only way we have right now. It's not the best way at all. Of course not. But literally for decades, people have been trying. I've been trying for 6 years to make some change in my state. You know what I got last year? New York State was the only state in the entire union that did not have one independent candidate for president on the ballot. The only state. The only one. First time in over 80 years. And for governor, when I tried to run for governor, they threw me off the ballot for governor 2022. First time over 80 years, we didn't have one. Not one. No. And my state's 3-1 Democrat Republican. So I have no democracy in my state. And I'm not exaggerating or joking when I say that. So when Democrats go, democracy at stake, I laugh in their face. I don't have that in my state. There's no democracy in my state. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. That's not a thing. Democrats rule it. Period. They have in my Congress right now, they have a bulletproof majority, right? Veto-proof majority, supermajority. That's it. Done. That's how it works. So, Larry, what'd you do? As I said, I spent my time, my money, my energy. I went to the courts and they laughed in my face 8 times. So while this is not perfect, what other option have they given me? I've taken the options. I've raised the money. I've taken the time. If you count both my runs total altogether, $1 million. I'm not joking. You can check it out. You can do your own homework. $1 million in both my runs combined. That's what I raised to make change in my state. And it's worse. It's not even better. It's worse. So I raised $1 million, went to court 8 times. Yes, you can check. My name is on the court 8 times, 8 cases, 8 times. If you include appeals, right? Including appeals, 8 times. What am I going to do, Matt? How can I feel bad about this? How can I? And I lost 2 years of my life. So 2 years of my life, I didn't work. I just did this. 2 years of my life gone. And you want me to be like, oh, no, I'm not. Over on Rumble, Straight End says, in today's press conference, Trump referred to Vance when asked about Doge. So Larry's right. Yes, there we go. Right. Trump, as I mentioned, and again, some of you thought I was, I'm telling you, Trump has his hands full internationally. I was teasing Mike about this before, right? When Mike was like, he's going to get the peace treaties done. I'm like, no, internationally, his hands are full internationally. He's doing Japan today, wasn't he? And then like Canada tomorrow, whatever. His hands are full internationally. He is like, JD, you take this. RFK, you take that. Elon, you take this. I got my hands full. With Israel, Gaza, he's got his hands full. So he's like, I'm taking this. You go do these things. And I don't think he did that very well in his first term, to be very forward with you. I think most people would agree. He didn't do a very good job with this first term. His second term, he's done much better this term when it comes to that. So, yes. All righty. Let me grab a couple more of these if I can. Michael says, my thing is that both major parties are authoritarian. True. I think that's correct. The difference is, Mike, is right now, and again, this wasn't the case years ago. Right now, the Republican Party is far more anti-establishment compared to the Democratic Party. Still establishment, but compared to the Democratic Party, it's all relative. It's far less. It's far less establishment, and it's clear by how it's tearing the establishment apart. And people are happy. They're not mad about it. They're not unhappy about it at all. So yeah. Andrea, thank you for being a member. The Dems always need a boogeyman, but it's not working on the populace anymore. Correct. It's not. Peter says, Larry Donald J. Tuck barely won. He has one of the lowest approval ratings of any POTUS ever. Doesn't matter. Look what's happening. I mean, I don't mean to be mean, Peter, but I hear this all the time. I get people telling me this all the time, blah, blah, all the time. Look at what's happening. It doesn't matter. He might as well have whatever. It doesn't matter. He is acting as if he has a mandate, and the country is acting as if he has a mandate. I remember, I think it was Roy who gave me the actual number saying that he didn't win the official popular vote or whatever the case may be. And I said, it does. I said back then, it's a month ago, 2 months ago. I said, it doesn't matter. The country will act as if he did. So he might as well have. So I'm not saying you are wrong in what you're saying. I'm saying the outcome is the same. It doesn't matter. In fact, what if they went back and found out later, right? And, we recounted and he didn't win the popular vote. Too late. Everyone always believed. They're already acting like he did. So it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I think that's the issue. I know people don't like it. I know. I just think it's true. I don't mean to be a nudge about it. I'm not trying to be a jerk at all. So I'm looking over at Instagram. Jordan says, I can't believe we have Kathy instead of you in charge here, Larry. Oh, thank you. Maybe one day we will. Maybe we will. Rob Latimer, how are you? He says, that's why I'm sitting in Florida. I saw the writing on the wall. and the Hochul regime was never going to give Larry a fair shot. I know, Rob. I've considered leaving myself many times. I have. I've been many times. I'm still. There's still a part of me who wants to go to New Hampshire. It's true. New Hampshire people are always bugging me. They bug me like once a month. Someone bugs me from New Hampshire. Why don't you come up here? Blah. I get bugged all the time, and it's starting to work a little bit. Just saying. I should have said that because now I'm gonna get like 9 requests this week. But yeah, I do get that. I hear you guys. I hear you. Look, the reality is I am a New Yorker. And it's the reason why, if you remember when Nicole Shanahan was talking about California about maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, she was saying how she really wanted to fix her state. She loves California. She loves her state. She knows it's a beautiful state, but it has a terrible government. I feel exactly the same way about New York. Now, Rob, I know you left, and I get why you did, but you would admit New York is still a beautiful state. It just has a terrible government, right? It's a disaster, right? The government destroys this state. New York State is a very beautiful, amazing state. New York City is amazing, except our government's garbage. But yeah, so I do keep trying. So I do keep trying. All righty. Let's see here. Excuse me. Andrew says they already impeached Trump twice and even convicted him of felony, and 50% of the country chose him. That is why I say, yes, he has a mandate. Yes, absolutely. The AC says they're not building camps. They're just reopening the one in Guantanamo Bay. Oh, and shipping U.S. prisoners to El Salvador maybe sounds great. No, you have a valid point there. I'm not happy about the Guantanamo piece at all. Valid point, AC. Valid point. I can't stand it. They should have closed Gitmo a long time ago. Obama told us he would. He didn't. Trump had a chance. He didn't. Biden could. He didn't. They didn't do it because they want to keep it open. You're correct. Point taken. All I can say. You're correct. Point taken. Yes. I hate it. I think it sucks. They should close it. Yes. Don't know. I don't know how to fix that one. I mean, if I was president, I would just close the damn thing. Or put Congress in it. Maybe for that, I keep it open. Just saying. Matt goes on to say, I'm embarrassed. I used to consider myself more of a Democrat in the past. No, I mean, I think many people come from one side or the other. What are you going to do? Of course. I mean, there's a lot of people now who were Democrats who went further left, right? A lot of them now, because even they're like, this party's a disaster. They don't. Look, if Bernie the whole thing would have changed if in 2016 Bernie had won the nomination. I'm not joking. The person who could have beat Trump, I mean, I'm not saying Trump would have lost 2016, but I'm saying the person who could have beaten him is Bernie. America was crying, begging for a rebel. And the Democrats gave us Hillary Clinton, the most establishment person on the goddamn planet, instead of Bernie. Bernie was a rebel. Bernie might have beat Trump, right? But even if he didn't, say Bernie ran but didn't beat Trump, now the rebellion becomes left-leaning answers, not orange man bad. The problem is the second Trump won, the Democratic Party became orange man bad. That's it. No answers, just Trump evil. That's it. Well, if the Bernie side had won, they would have left-leaning answers. Well, if you have left-leaning answers and then right-leaning answers, you have an actual battle of ideas. We don't have that. We have Democrats who go, we're mad. And Republicans go, we're building camps in Guantanamo Bay. And that's what you got. So I guess you get in Guantanamo Bay then, because Democrats have no answers. If you had a Bernie side, you'd have left-leaning answers, and you could have that fight. Yeah, you don't have it. You don't have it. There's not two hands reaching out to you to give you an answer. It's just one. And it's got camps in Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, it's true. So Peter says, Larry, by Independence Day 2025, Donald J. Duck is done. I disagree completely, brother. No, this is just getting more powerful. This is getting more powerful. You're going to see it. Because as things begin to change, people are now excited. This is what I was telling you. Things are going to get worse. You're right in this, Peter. If you're saying things are going to get worse, they are. Things are going to get worse. I think it's true. Economically, there's going to be a crash. There's going to be problems. That's true. There will be problems. But if people see change, they'll stick it through. How do I know this? Am I just pulling this out of my derriere? No. Argentina. The same thing happened. Milei came in, chainsawed everything. Same thing. And initially, people were hurt. I was very open. That happened. But people saw the change and they thought, oh, we haven't had change in decades. The system doesn't work. We're going to trust this guy. And they did. And a year later, it was better. And now he's popular. Same thing's happening with Trump. Unless something crazy happens. Same thing happening with Trump. He's doing the same thing. He's doing a chainsaw thing too. Same. He's playing the Malay game. Same thing. Turn it up. People are going to see change. When it gets bad, because I think you're right, your word's going to get bad. It is. People are going to accept it though, because they're seeing change. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take it. They're going to do it. That's my view. Look, Peter, maybe I'm wrong. You'll bug me in July and tell me how wrong I am. Maybe. I don't think so. I'm usually right on these things. Just saying. I'm usually right, but I'm wrong sometimes. It does happen. Yep. Christine says until ICE raids the Roosevelt. As long as they're getting their paid, Christine, they don't care. I don't mean to be mean, but they don't. Right? The advantage of the migrant industrial complex, right? The advantage of the migrant industrial complex is you get money from the federal government no matter how you treat the migrants. So the Roosevelt can do what it's supposed to do, which is have good service when it comes to people, market, the whole deal, do all that stuff, pay its employees lots of money. It could do that, or take in migrants, give them mediocre service, and get paid no matter what. So if ICE raids them, they'll throw some more migrants in, and then they'll get paid again, unless Bondi stops the payments. That's the key piece. The Roosevelt doesn't care if they get raided by ICE. The Roosevelt cares if Bondi stops the payments. Then they care. That's the difference. So Mike says Democrats are losing their minds. They tried to bully them into their way into the Department of Education. And yeah, they couldn't. The guy just said no because he realized something. They didn't care. They didn't care. Yes. Search and Destroy says Larry makes a great point. They voted for this garbage. True. Yes. True. Absolutely. Andrew says, I do not like Pritzker. He might not have won, but if he would have won, right? If Pritzker would have ran in that primary, in fact, Andrew talks about Cenk Uygur. He also was going to run that primary. If any of them would have won, that means they would have been a better candidate than Harris. So however bad Harris did, Pritzker, if he would have won, would have done better, whatever that number is, right? So who knows, right? And the other piece is, again, you don't have RFK Jr. He probably would have stayed because anybody who would have been savvy enough, either RFK Jr. wins the primary or Pritzker or whomever, Cenk Uygur, whoever wins, probably brings RFK Jr. aboard to get his people. So again, Trump may have still won, but he would not have won with the mandate, which means he can't do all this stuff, right? That's the difference. If he would have still won, I don't know. He might have lost. Who knows, right? If you have a decent Democrat and you have RFK Jr., and the Democratic team wasn't a bad team. They had a pretty good team. So it's possible they could have won. Who knows? But once they decided to not have a primary, that is when Trump became inevitable. That is when he became inevitable, without question. That was the issue. So, any case. So, all righty. Christine says, oh, you could run your state better and be more self-sufficient. Agreed. That's the entire piece. Yes. Yes. Search and Destroy says, we have Second Amendment sanctuary cities in Idaho. Yes. People think I'm against sanctuary cities. I'm not. I think local people could absolutely fight back when they think that the state's being the federal government's being unconstitutional. Absolutely. But don't take federal money. If the local people want to take on a local issue, let them. Right? Let them. But why the Fed's paying? So if you want to have an issue with have a Second Amendment sanctuary city, good. You want to let people carry guns like the old Wild West? Good. As long as you're taking care of it. You do you. I don't have a problem with that at all. I'm totally fine with it. So, but it is kind of tough if you want to go, oh, well, now if we have problems, we need federal government to pay. No, that you can't do that part. See? But I don't want the federal government paying at all. So that's why I'm okay with it. Andrea says, as a resident of Illinois, I'm not mad at Bondi. As a resident of New York, neither am I. I'm not. I don't think either one of us is mad about this one. It's all good. It's all good. 100%. So, anyway, Mike Voss, I'm having a wonderful time. I'm shocked that you would be, Mike. I'm kidding, obviously. This is exactly what Trump was elected for, and it's legal. Dems just never thought anyone would break the status quo they thrive on. I think you're right when it comes to the Dems not being, they were just not prepared for this. They were shocked, and this is the bubble so many of them were in. They were shocked that Trump won. Like, they were like, no, some of them were like, no, I can't believe it. This is wrong. Like, it was me and you knew he was going to win, right? We literally went. I mean, you knew better than I did. But even I thought he was going to win, right? We all thought he was going to win. They were like shocked that he even won. And then to do all this. And this is my point earlier, Mike. And you look, you know, I'm right on this piece I talked about earlier. Republicans used to always talk about day one. Then they wouldn't do it or they wouldn't win. So they thought, well, Trump's the same as the other Republicans, just talking a day one trash. Right? Because that's a big day one thing. It's a big Republican talking point, right? So, same thing. He's either full of it or not going to win or whatever. Who cares? And Trump went, oh, no. I was serious. No. When I said day one, I meant day one. I meant that. And other people coming in, oh, no. We meant day one. And they're like, what? And also something else. Think of how much nothing Biden was doing. So they were accustomed to a president who was basically like, taking a meeting, taking a nap, having some breakfast, watching some TV. They were accustomed to that. That was Biden. Now, all of a sudden, they got Trump, who's like doing everything. Everybody's doing everything. They're like, what is going on? They don't know how to act. I think completely true. I don't know how legal this stuff is, to be forward with you. My point is, I don't think it matters. So I don't know if it's legal. You may be right. I don't think it matters. Because who's going to stop him? Who's going to stop him? So, yeah. All right. Christine says 12 times. What must that be like? Yeah, that would change a lot if that were true. I don't know if 12 is the right number. I don't remember why, but that was the number they chose. And they actually tried to pass a law making that if you were a public company in Switzerland, you could only make 12 times the amount of your average employee. Now, we're crazy. We're like 300 times or something like that. It's insane. But look, I don't have a problem with there being social consequences, something like this at all. I don't. If you go, wait a minute, why does the CEO make 300 times more? He should make whatever, 100 times more. I don't know what the number is, Christine. I made that up, right? Whatever. But if we, as a culture, say you should make 100 times more, and if you want to make $12 million, you can. But then the average employee should make whatever 100 times, $120,000. Then is that right? 120,000, whatever. Yeah, should make $120,000 a year. Should be your average employee. And if you're okay with that, and we're okay with that, life is good. If we don't like it, we punish you somehow. We don't buy your products. We dish you on when it comes to your stock price. Whatever. I don't mind. But there are ways you could work. The problem is we don't do that. We always rely on government force. That's the problem. We rely on government force. And the problem is they own the government. That's why it never works. But if we would use not the government ourselves, they don't actually own us. See, they don't have to care about government. They just buy government. Us, they have to actually make happy. But why make us happy when they can just have government punish us, which would they do instead? So, yeah, it doesn't work. But it could, in theory. I mean, I think it would be great if we did that. I don't have a problem at all. Whatever the number is. I think, again, cultures can decide. Whatever the culture decides, the market can decide, whatever that is. That would be amazing, right? I don't have a problem with that at all. So, yes. All righty. Roz is with you, Mike. He's like, I'm loving this too. He's with you. Yes. Matt at War says, the problem is companies become monopolies, so you can't really vote with your wallet. Well, look, the reality of it is if you, in theory, that's true, but you can have a system to where you can break up monopolies. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with antitrust laws. And people think that we're libertarians to the market. No. What winds up happening is once you have a monopoly, you no longer have a market. The problem also is government is also a monopoly. So when government runs it, government becomes a monopoly, just as bad as a company. well, so I don't want government running it. Every single thing that's gotten expensive and gotten worse, government runs. Let me repeat that. Every single thing that's gotten more expensive and has worse service, government runs. Why? It's a monopoly, to your point, right? Now, I don't want an oligarchy, but I'd rather have an oligarchy than a monopoly. I'd rather have an open market than an oligarchy. So if government would get out of the business of doing and instead get out of the business of making sure we don't have monopolies, we'd have a much better world. So I would rather shift it to where government's not doing, but government's just stopping monopolies. Fine with that. We can do that 100%. Yes. All righty. Dow says, thank you for becoming a member, my friend. Dubai considers itself the Riviera of the Middle East. Ooh. Don't make Dubai mad. They're on the opposite side, though. So that's like it's east and west. There we go. See? It's east and west. That's it. So Phil says, Trump is so dangerous, we need to repeal the Patriot Act. Oh, no. Yes. 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 I am with you. See, now, if that came, if the Democrats actually got so upset with what Trump was doing and went, he can't do this, because if Mike's right, and this is all legal because the Patriot Act and the authorization of use of military force, if that's all true, well, then maybe we should repeal those. I'm with you, Phil. Now, that will be a home run. Could you imagine if Democrats actually got scared and said, we should now start repealing this stuff because now Trump's got it? Or now we should close Gitmo because Trump could put us in Gitmo? We got to close Gitmo now? Maybe the real gift was the libertarians we made along the way. Maybe that was a real gift Trump gave us. That's what it was. I'm with you, Phil. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. That'd be worth it all. Matt says, I'm not joking. Larry Sharpe 2025. Sadly, I'm not joking. Is Larry Sharpe every year? That's the sad part. Yeah, that is the sad part. I've been spicy recently, haven't I? You guys are teasing me about it. Phil says, post the pepper when Larry gets spicy. I have been getting spicy. It's true. I have been. I've been bothered because so much is happening that I can't talk about what I want to talk about because Trump keeps doing stuff. So I have to keep talking about Trump. I don't want to talk about Trump all the time, but he just won't stop doing stuff. So I got to keep talking about him. And the next part is I keep being right about bad stuff. And like, I don't want to be right on the bad stuff. I'm going to be right on the good stuff. This is no damn good stuff. But yes. Christine says the status quo politicians have shot the laws and rules full of holes. Yep. Like you said, Larry, who is going to enforce anything? That's the issue. Yes, that is the issue. If people don't want to enforce the laws, they won't. That's how it works. So Phil says, remember that time in World War II, Germany just let us take them over? Actually, I don't remember that time, Phil. I remember it was a horrible battle. But yeah, yep, absolutely. 100% true. So that's terrible. Ryan says, Missy, I already shared this video next. Guys, please share this video. Do what Ryan said. Ryan's right. Share the video. Click the like button. Repost this. Subscribe. All the things. Click all the buttons that you can click. Every one of them counts. If you click those buttons, then eventually Mr. Al, middle name is Gore, last name is Rhythm, that guy will actually decide to show this to more people. Yes, absolutely. Duke of Heck says, the same people that are complaining about illegal immigrants are the same people supporting U.S. control of Gaza. So complaining about all the illegal immigrants, the same people supporting U.S. control of Gaza. Probably true. That's probably true. Oh, do you think that if we go into Gaza, we'll have more illegal immigrants? Oh, sorry. Duke of X, took me a couple seconds for that one to connect. Okay. It was bounced around on there. That's what you meant. Yes. Look, whenever there's war zones, there's immigrants. There's always. That's how it works. I agree. You're right. I would like us to not have that. Yes. Ryan says, Larry, Anna went on Glenn Beck podcast. It was a great interview, a great civil back and forth between two people who don't necessarily agree. Yeah, look, Glenn Beck actually is a good interview. I know Glenn. I was on the show twice. He he's not trying to get you. That's not who he is. He's not trying to, right? He's trying to have a conversation. Now, obviously, he has his own views, his own thing. Of course he does, right? But he's that's not what he's trying to do. He's trying to have a conversation. He really is trying to. And I think it's if you are someone who is more left-leaning and you want to have kind of an entryway, he's a great entryway. He's not going to got you. He's not going to do that, right? He's where someone else, like, someone on Daily Wire is going to slaughter you, right? If they can try to beat you up. He's not. So yeah, it's a good move if you're doing that. I completely agree. Yes. So, all righty. Phil says John Jr. is all over the place. He's been working hard for this. Some people think he may be pushing for the next one. He may be. Yes. Peter says, Larry, 8 million men. Are you referring to my fellow veterans? No. Not. That's not no. No. Some of those people are veterans, but no, these are separate. These are 8 million men. Most of them are under 35 who have just decided, I'm out. I can't find happiness at work. I can't find happiness with a woman. I can't find happiness with community. I'm just going to stay online. My life. That's what I'm going to do. I'm staying online. That is my life. That's what I'm doing. And it's about 8 million men. And some of them are veterans, but it's not because of veterans. It's a separate issue that we're having with our broken men. There are literally books written on it of boys and men, the problem with boys, problem with men. And sadly, in our society, particularly what happened last year, which I brought this up and people thought I was laughing, joking, or whatever. I wasn't, as I'm not. Kamala Harris did not mention it at all, and her surrogates laughed at it. Kamala Harris was not anti-male or anti-boy. She was not. She just didn't care. She did not say anything about it. She didn't mention the problems that men and boys are having in America, right? She didn't mention it at all. Her surrogates laughed at it, joked at it. You heard this woman Crockett go, poor mediocre white boys. I mean, literally attacking them, right? And you wonder, oh, well, why don't they vote for you? Because that. For those of you who don't know, young men in America are suffering horribly. They are, compared to young women. Young women, young people in general are doing worse. That's true. But women are making more money. Women are having more college degrees. Women are having more success. Women are having more relationships. Women are having more sex. Women are having better, more friendships. Younger women, that is, under 30. They're all doing much better than young men are. It's just true. This was not the way it's been. So society hasn't responded to this at all. It used to be the opposite, right? If you go back many years ago, the reverse was true. Not true anymore. So, and it hasn't been true for years. It hasn't been true for years. And the younger men are just not being taken care of at all. Our society has not shifted to assist them in any way. So they've just checked out. Now, of course, what does that mean? Now, young women are also starting to hurt also because they can't find boyfriends. They can't find husbands because these men are not interested. They're not interested in women. They're not interested in relationships. 8 million of them. Now, that doesn't mean all men, but 8 million is a big chunk of men. So if you're a woman looking for a young man, you got a problem, right? You got a problem. And you're doing well yourself as a young woman. So do you want a man who's doing worse than you? Most women don't want that, right? Not all, obviously, but most women don't want that. Do you want a man who's less educated than you? Most women don't want that. Well, they're not going to college anymore. So they're struggling. So what are young women doing? Young women are dating older men. So older men are doing fine. Younger men aren't. Well, they're ready to stand in front of that Department of Education and stop congressmen, aren't they? Yeah, that's what's happening. So, yes. All righty. Let's see here. All right. Let me grab a couple more of these if I can. A lot of you guys popping a lot of stuff here. I'm going to grab a couple here if I could. Somebody's going back and forth. Somebody going back to each other. That is even me, yeah. Peter asks again, Chase Oliver wasn't on the New York ballot? No, he was not. That's my whole point. No. No independent candidates. None were on the New York State ballot. None. Yes, all the work I did, gone. All gone. Yes. I don't want to make it sound nice at all. It's garbage. It's terrible. It is not good in any way, shape, or form. So I hope that was clear. All right. Let me grab some of these. Ryan says, Nicole is fantastic. I agree. I love Nicole. Nicole may be the star coming out here. She might be the one. She's smart. She's tech savvy. She's well funded. She literally called Ron Paul the Cicero of the modern day, which means, for those who know, Ron Paul is like libertarian Jesus. So libertarians now like her by default. So she's now likable by libertarians by default. When you say that, we're like, okay, you are now okay. So yep. So I do think that she definitely could be somebody like that. Of course, 100%. Phil says draft Shanahan LP 2028. Could be. You never know. Absolutely. So Christine says ship Congress to Gitmo. Then I might want to keep it open. So I'm just saying, I might keep it open. So Ryan says Sharpe Shanahan 2028. I don't know if she'd want to be. That might want to be reversed. I would be happy, but that might want to be reversed. I have played second fiddle before. Look, I don't have to be Neo. I can be Morpheus. I don't mind. I don't have to be Neo. I can be Morpheus. Look, I got the glasses and the whole deal. If I could be Morpheus, I could do that. So I don't mind. I could be Morpheus. I don't have to be Neo. I could be Neo too. I don't mind. I'll do some dodging. Beat up by Agent Smith. I'll do it, but I could be. I'm okay. Yep. I'm okay. Either one. I'm happy with either one. So yes. So any case. John, thank you for being a member. Larry, on JRE, Eric Weinstein was commiserating with Joe about how unimpressed they are with Bernie jumping on RFK Jr. during the hearings. I wasn't just unimpressed. I was actively annoyed. Bernie was such an embarrassment. There was a time when I actually respected Bernie. Those days are now gone. I used to respect Bernie. Again, clearly I'm a libertarian. I disagree with his ideas, of course, but it doesn't mean I didn't respect him and that he was stuck to his guns and that he fought and he was respectable and he was savvy. That I can still respect the person, though I disagree with their policies. And that's where I was with him. But the Democratic Party has bent him over and given him the high hard one 3 times already. And he just says, "Thank you, sir. May I have another? Thank you, sir. May I have another?" He just doesn't stop. And he's still kissing their ass. For what? For what, man? Like, are you running again? You're 80-something years old, dude. You got your 3rd house already, right? What are you doing? Are you that much of a sellout? There's something over you? You're 80-something years old, man. Stand your ground. Where you been? What are you doing? Why would you sit behind and get behind Elizabeth Warren? Right? You haven't solved anything in all the years you've been in the Congress. You solved nothing, but you're mad at RFK Jr. It's an embarrassment. It's just an embarrassment. It's terrible. I don't know why he's doing it, and so many people lost respect for him already. It's terrible. I am very disappointed in him, and I've lost a lot of respect for him. I completely agree. He should have told the Democratic Party to go to hell. They screwed him over more than once. They have shown what they're. Look, RFK Jr. taught him a lesson. He's just jealous. He should be there with RFK Jr. He should have bailed on the Democratic Party too. He should have jumped on board with RFK Jr. and done a Kennedy-Bernie ticket and run the Green Party. Do that. Imagine a Kennedy-Bernie ticket Green Party. Are you kidding me? They easily get 5%. If not, win a couple states. They win Vermont for sure. Who knows what else they win? How much money they raise? Bernie raises millions of dollars. We saw that already. But yes. And at least he would have kept, even if he had done that and lost, at least he had some goddamn integrity. Something. So I agree with you completely. So Christine says, Bernie's a hypocrite. Not sure you would have an answer. Yeah, he's a hypocrite. You're right. So yes. Kim says, how does Shanahan show up 2028 sound? I'm not complaining. There we go. So Peter says, Larry, how did you know I'm on my way to Buenos Aires? FYI, inflation is killing Argentinians. Yes, but not as bad. That's true, but not as bad. Again, I want to be clear. I did a whole show on this. Milei has not been perfect, and neither is Trump. I'm not saying at all. But It is absolutely better. There's no doubt it's better. It's clear. All indications are it's better. 100%. People believe it's better, and the people still support him. So it is worth it. It was worth it in their view. That's what matters, right? Absolutely. So let me grab here. Foreign NorCal says the U.S. citizens had to hit rock bottom, and we did hit rock bottom. Hence, we have Trump. I say this all the time. People get mad at me. Trump is a symptom. And people don't like when I say it because some people think that I'm insulting Trump. I'm not insulting Trump. I'm not. I respect the game. I think you can tell, right? I'm not a Trump supporter. Didn't give him any money. Didn't vote for him. But I can still see the game. I can see it. I can still be someone who says, look, I can respect the game. I can respect the game. So, yes, I'm not insulting Trump when I say that. But we got Trump because of two reasons. One, because our system is garbage. I've been saying it forever. It's garbage, and the establishment will give us no way to change it. I believe it was Thomas Jefferson who said, oh, I'm going to get this wrong. Someone help me with this one. When peaceful revolution is impossible, violent revolution becomes, oh my God, inevitable. I think it was Jefferson who said, someone will help me with that one. But that's what happened. The system gave us no answer except Trump, so we got Trump. And last year, the Democrats had a chance to go, okay, no more Trump. Let's give our people an opportunity to have some control. Let's give them a primary and give them some control. And Democrats went, no, we run shit. No, you don't get any. No, what's wrong with you? No. And you got Trump. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. You got Trump. So, all right, let's see if I can grab some more of these if I can here. Straight Ann for $2 over on Rumble says, tell Matt Ice he should feel welcome to the former Dem crowd. We in good company like Trump, RFK Jr., and Tulsi. That's true. Tulsi, former Democrat, RFK Jr., former Democrat, Trump, former Democrat. Yep. Even Elon, right? And even Rogan. Yes. If you watch my Rogan interview when I was with Rogan, I insulted him. I called him Democrat because he was fighting me on unions, teachers unions. Yes. So yeah, I insulted him. I called him Democrat right there. Not a good way of starting, but I can be spicy sometimes, and I was spicy then too. So yes. Joel says, I was always willing to be reasonable until I had to be unreasonable. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things. Marvin Haymeyer, Killdozer. Yeah. Yes. That's accurate. Yes. Absolutely. So, all righty. All right, Grace, thank you for this. Grace, those who make peaceful revolution, on posts here, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. Remarks on the first anniversary of the Alliance for Progress, 13 March 1962, John F. Kennedy. Oh, I thought he took that from Jefferson. Was I wrong? Okay, that's fine. There we go. I'll take it though. Thank you, Grace. I appreciate that. Yes, and that's what they're doing. They make peace revolution impossible. I know, I'm trying, and it won't happen. So then this happens, and they go, I don't understand. You gave us no option. Shocker. You give us no option, and that's it. Yes. Phil says, Trump isn't the flood. He's the dam, holding back the anger of the people. Michael Malice. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. I'm not sure. So, yeah. Phil says, Larry's a big Japanophile. I think he was in Okinawa, like all you jarheads. I actually lived in Japan for 4 years. I taught English there. I was in Okinawa. I was also in Tokyo for a short time. Roppongi mostly because it's party place back in the day. Also in Osaka, a place called Mino. And also in Hokkaido, Sapporo for a little bit too. So I spent some time all around. I like Japan very much. I was there about 4 years. So yeah, I can still read some Japanese. speak it here or there. I forget. I haven't used any Japanese in probably 25 years more. So I hardly ever speak it. If I meet Japanese people here in Japan, I will sometimes speak it with them. And if I a Japanese restaurant, I'll order some stuff in Japanese every once in a while. I'll still remember some of the basics. And if I like watch shows, I can like tell which, oh, that guy's saying that. So I still pick up some of that stuff, but I'm not at all fluent at all. So yes, but it's true. Yes. So I did, and I haven't been back to Japan since last time I was in Japan was the late 90s. So it's been a while. It has been a while. Raza says, Larry always has an answer. This is true. I do. It's one of the things that makes me kind of annoying, I think. It makes me a little bit annoying because I do tend to have an answer. And I am sometimes spicy. That is true. Absolutely. So, yes. I'm going to ask you one time, guys, if I could, please click the button known as like. Yes. I ask all the time. So, yes. All right. Ryan says, Bernie likes big green weenie. Yes. Yes. Andrea says, Bernie bent over and took it. Look, I get it happening. I do. And I get you trying to take one for the team. I do get that. Once. I do. Like, I'm not, sometimes you got to, right? I get it. I took one in 2016 when I tried to beat Bill Weld, right? I took one. Take one for the team. I got it. You got to do it. But then you got to stop taking them. At one point, you got to be like, I'm done, right? At one point. I'm okay once. Take it for the team. I got it. Not all those times, man. It's just too much, right? That you just can't. Yes. So anyway, Matt says, Nicole, smart, savvy, and sexy, checks all the boxes. All the boxes, I agree. But more importantly, John has it. Nicole has her heart in the right place. That is true. That is true. That woman has her heart in exactly the right space. And that's more important than the other ones. She's also well-funded, which is also good. She has lots of friends and family who are wealthy. She's also personally wealthy, so that helps. She knows people who help out with PACs, so that also helps. She has a lot of that. So she does have a lot of that. She has a lot of advantages, for sure. Completely, absolutely true. Yes. So, all righty. Mike says, no one's talking about civil war anymore. So yes, Trump is a damn releasing pressure, literally extending the life of America. Even with CA secede vote so silly, U.S. is more unified than in 2014. You know, I could see that. You know what? I could see that. It feels like, I felt like it was kind of too much, right? I think you're saying releasing pressure. Yes, so I would call it a cap, not a dam. Dam, when I heard that, how I took it, Mike, when I heard it, it was like, he's stopping it all. He's not stopping it all. But you are absolutely correct. He's absolutely releasing the pressure, absolutely sending the life. The country wanted to see some damn change, and it's seeing some change. So it's like, oh, we don't have to do the violent stuff anymore, right? Not required. We don't have to do that anymore. So I think that part is important, right? That we don't have that. So yes, but I don't know. But I guess the damn part is what I was thinking was going to be odd. Maybe that's the issue. So yes. So, all righty. Kim says, and more often than not, Larry's right. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that, guys. I'm trying very hard to give you something that's very interesting, to give you stuff that matters tremendously. Guys, what I'm going to ask you is, I know I have been not as good recently with responding to a lot of your posts and such. I know I haven't. I've been insanely busy these last couple weeks. I've worked on a couple things that I have not been working on in the past, trying to fix a couple things in my professional life more than anything else, trying to work on some of those things. I will absolutely be going out of my way to try to do better with that in the future. I will be on tomorrow, again, around 7 p.m. tomorrow. Please, once we're done with this, if you don't mind, put what you think is going to happen with this administration coming in next 3 months. Is it going to be fall apart? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be whatever? Tell me what you think. Put in the comments after this is over. and I will see you all very soon.